we go hard. It's real, we go hard. You can do your own thing, but you can't go hard. It's us. It's real, we go hard. It's real.
What's up, guys? We are Solution Speak, coming to you live from True Fire Studio, Nairobi, Kenya. Woo woo! You know that was bad. That was so cool.
That's a good whoop. Not gonna lie to you. Mine's not that good. So.
Okay, where can you find us, Akiata Leo?
Ooh. Okay. Yes, I'm my big brother Akiata Leo, the co-host for this podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Those are just the main essentials. But any place where you want to listen to podcasts,
we're there.
We're there.
I'll be
waiting.
there.
Ooh, who's singing that actually?
I don't even know.
Don't be singing songs you don't know. Sing them. But yeah, you can find us on all streaming platforms, all podcast streaming platforms. Additionally, YouTube. Give us a subscribe. Give us a review. Mm-hmm. Say what you mean, how you mean it, and be truthful about it. If you like us, cool. If you don't,
that's still cool.
That's not cool.
It is.
You have to like us. We're so likable. Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like us, that's kind of weird. You're weird.
This is Solution Speak podcast, hosted by your favorite Hebrews, up in Nairobi, Kenya. Get at us, and my little sister, Kotna Shamia, is going to give us a topic of the day. Run it. What is it?
Okay, so our topic for today is participation in the building of our future.
So what does that mean?
I mean, it means what I just said.
I mean, it means what you just said. What does it mean to you? Like,
when
you hear that, what comes to your mind in terms of what's your responsibility in the building of our future?
I think, well, from my perspective, it's like being a part of the change for the future.
Do you think it'll be easy for us to make that change?
I mean, we have our challenges of our time, as we said before in our previous episodes.
Do you think that change will be something accepted, or is like frowned upon, like you guys are crazy?
I'm sure it will be. I think it would be kind of wishy-washy. I think some will understand and some would think we're crazy.
I mean, I think if someone don't think you're crazy, I don't think you're doing it right.
Right.
Because I think for me, that participation and building a future, like some things might change. Like those pillars, some things about the present must change in order for the future to take shape. And I think one of those things is like giving the youth the ability to speak, or at least let the ones worthy of that honor have it. Because it's like saying all youth are crazy. That's nice to say, but also not true.
That's not nice to say.
Like personally, I wouldn't nominate myself, but there are people I know who is like, oh man, I'd love for this person to represent me in building the future of what the youth will look like, or what the kingdom will look like, or even what the world will look like. And I think having that youth perspective in terms of responsibility and accountability on what we need to do in order to make things better for ourselves and for like future us for future people who look like us. I think having someone represent us is really good. I think the lack of that is part of the problem of why things are the way they are today. Yeah, you heard that? Why things are the way they are today. I mean, it's like,
well, I do agree with you, but I think us showing, like, just doing what we're supposed to do is that presentation, like representation, my bad. I think that is the representation.
I don't know. I think
just because somebody is not giving you a title doesn't mean you're not representing.
No, but a title is nice. But I think
a title is just another name. Would you care?
No, it's not. It's like, if I met somebody and it was like, I'm getting heart surgery, and I was like, what are you? And he was like, oh, doctor is just like a name. I'm just like, yeah, nah. I need a doctor, PhD.
But I don't know. I don't really take the titles like into a big thing.
I think it
I'm
depends on what
saying,
it is.
like, of course, like, if you an architect, you would say I'm an architect.
Architect.
And that's what I
Architect.
I don't know, it's just my pronunciation. But anyways, titles, it's not really
I
the
like
whole...
titles. But still, I think
course you
in
do.
participation, I think given that leeway for people to participate, I think that's what we lack also. Because like, if you take something like the Nation Store, for example, right? I think having more younger people in there, like at the nothing against the people who work at the Nation Store. I work there; it's a lovely place. But I think having fresh faces and fresh ideas on how we can build the Nation Store up. That's our supermarket that our Kingdom supermarket that we own, and
In Israel.
But I think having that fresh face for people to go, oh wow, because people knew I was working in there. People knew Imano was working in there, and I think that kind of like it. I don't think it made people come in because people's already coming in, but I think having those fresh faces and having those fresh ideas on ways to improve and ways to kind of upgrade what we already have is really good. And I think like if you took every institution like that of just putting a fresh face in it for that representation, for that participation in the building of that would be really good. And so when those older people transition on to other things in their life, then that younger person's already like
Accustomed.
Damn, I was trying to find that word.
Accustomed to the system.
Accustomed to what's going on and how to make things better. So take over like a management perspective. But if you just there's no participation from the youth or no participation from anyone outside of the people that work there, which is, I mean, it creates a level of stability, but also it's very stagnant. That's where like there's a fine line between stable and stagnant. And I think finding that sweet spot where you can make something stable but still be progressive in a way. I think progressive is the wrong word. That word's been used.
I would say long living. I forgot the word that you use, but like it's long. I wouldn't say like longevity. Yeah, like what's that other word?
What I mean by that is what I mean when I say that it's more like it's stable, but it's constantly progressing and upgrading. It's like how old companies bring in new people, like they sons or whatever, to take over because they bring a fresh, new, modern, based on the times,
idea and
perspective, persona of what that business needs to stay afloat for the next generation to
and
come.
What it can be even better. Like what?
And I think the lack of that is crazy. Even in the world, you find where like some people
presidents.
Yeah, you're not
even presidents. A lot of presidents in different countries, you have to be 50 and over. Like how much? Like
I think that just comes from experience and
experience, but a lot of older people, they just want like money and power and just like, you know.
I don't think so. I think if you look at any situation or any system and look at it's like all about money and power, I think that's pretty bad because like a lot of people aren't motivated by that. It's like somebody like the president of what country depends, but like
most presidents is like over 50. And I'm not saying every young person is capable of taking his position.
Oh, that's a lot of responsibility.
It really is. But like sometimes it's better for it to have like a fresher face because I know it's one country. I'm not sure. I forgot what's the name of this country. But they have a younger president or somebody that rules over the country. And the country is doing very good. It's more peace. Because younger people, younger people, they don't really care about all of that, like, madness. Like, all that dumb politics stuff that, like, the older people be just trying to do just with some attention. You feel me?
Nah, I think the thing about that is the reason young people aren't as prominently in those industries is because, one, you're like gaining knowledge at them ages, and two, you easily succumb to like stupid stuff, like parties and using your power for dumb stuff. Like
I'm not talking about your average Joe. I'm talking about somebody different, and it's not hard to find that like that.
No. Let me put this in like a real world perspective for you, right? So let's say that opportunity existed. Here's what's gonna happen, right? You have your elites of your elites, your Harvards or Yales, them kind of guys.
You might care about that.
No. What I'm saying is those kind of people will qualify way more than your Joe Schmo. And with them kind of guys, they're just smoother. Like a lot of presidents and people in those parliament, they come from those kind of high end schools, those high echelon schools, and so they have a better. They know how to represent themselves better, and they're better at diplomacy and conflict resolution and whatnot. And so, what happens is you just have those people. Although they're younger, it's still the same personalities, the same person, just a different body. Same thought process, just a different body. They're all buddies. They're all friends, come from the same place. And that's what I think having someone from all, I think a young advisor would be good. Like something new.
That's good. An advisor.
Somebody like, you have the CEO and you have a board of people, and they kind of talk about different things.
So you saying if your CEO was like a younger person, basically?
No. You can have an older CEO.
No,
I don't mind an old CEO.
I'm saying you trying to get that fresh idea though. You ain't about to get no fresh idea from that.
I'm saying like your COO or your board of advisors.
CEO, keep it simple.
No, you have this is companies. You have a CEO, you have a COO, you have like they're the head of different things, different departments. So like innovation, marketing, administration, and things like that. But having someone young just in a management position, in a high end position, to make things flow better. I think that's what Veggie's also doing with me, where he comes to me or I come to him and like, hey, what you want this idea? He's like, yeah, CEO, go. So I'm in that position where I can bring innovative new things to different companies that we own, and it allows stuff to stay fresh, things to stay frosty, man. Gotta stay frosty
and attract every crowd.
Exactly, and so his ideas attract a different crowd, and some stuff he's not gonna think of because it's like
that's not even something
in his age. He's just not like.
Worried about
let's do this. I'm like, what? No. But something I might say, and he like, oh man, I didn't even think of that. I mean, the age difference and the exposure to different things, because he's not exposed to the same things I'm exposed to, and so it allows him to. Well, my guidance is the wrong word, but my ideas and my innovations from just my age and my era would be beneficial for him, the company, and just overall.
Just for growth.
Yeah, and I think having somebody like that is really good. I think giving people the ability to do those things also, like the space needed to do those things, is quite essential.
And the resources.
Yeah, because it kind of sucks when you have a good idea, bring it, and they like, cool or no, and then you're just like, why am I even here if nothing I say, nothing I do is going to have any impact or have any effect? So, okay, I have a question. Who do you think is moving in that space of building the kingdom? Like, do you think there's anybody like actively participating in building the future? If so, who? Drop some names.
You saying in a particular area, or
no, just in any area? I mean, shout them out in their area.
I mean, you are.
Okay, not me. That don't count. I know I'm awesome. Continue. Next.
Child, please.
Child, I'm an op. What's this right on there?
Brother, please.
Ooh, no.
Hold on, let me think though.
I think somebody that's doing something like that is like somebody like maybe Naor or Kavivia and them, when they building, like they showing, if you go dance, learn dance and participate in dance and do dance on a very high professional level. And I think when you show somebody like, if you're gonna do it, go all the way. I like when I see stuff like that, I really like it, because you're not just playing around. You're not just doing it on your free time. You're doing it out of like pure passion, out of mere passion, and participating and stuff like that. So it makes like the younger generation, even somebody like me, it's like, if I'm a dance.
I know.
Who?
I know. Benny Manuel.
Word. Talk about it.
You know how he have an agricultural thing that he started in
agriculture.
Organic.
Be specific.
You're right, cause
GMO and stuff these
right.
days, man.
So they have organic farming in Israel, and so because he's young, he's not that old. So us looking at him, it's like, wow, you did all of this with the help of you, you inspired the younger brothers.
He had us
and-
out there, fam.
Yeah, we was out there picking weeds and
Planting watermelons.
planning and all of that
Shout
stuff.
out to Benny Manuel, man.
That was awesome. Like,
Them
I
two
remember when we
fools
was
was
in
cool.
Israel, man, that was awesome. The farm day.
Yeah, oh man, I love farm days.
Me too.
I
That was
didn't like it when I grew up. I'm just like, But then when you with your boys, it's like, yeah, let's do this.
it's
It was-
like
it was fun. It
you
was fun.
appreciate things like that because who else that you saw who else do you see now doing things like that besides Veggie Man? You know? Like, you see people. Okay. Who do you see from where you grew up doing things like that? That's the question.
In terms of like what Benny Manuel was doing? Or
Yeah,
just in
like that's what I'm
general?
saying. He's doing something different. He's tapping into a different
Outside of
how you say?
dancing and
Yeah, outside of like
music and
things that you see a lot.
basketball?
Yeah. Like, he's doing something different. And not a lot of youth is tapping into agriculture, which is kind of sad. But I feel like what he's doing really inspiring. It's
It
really
is.
inspiring the youth.
And the effect that it has is
Memories.
it's really like one of those what do they call it? Like a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
Where he does the like when he was doing the greens, it was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing the greens. He was bringing it to the nation store. He had some like when he was selling it by himself. We had bringing it to the nation store,
Mm-hmm.
and from the nation store, then people buying it from us, and then it was like everyone's tapping into like this one thing. This got sold out in like already minutes. Like,
Yeah, he posted on a group
Bro.
show. He was like, whoever get it is first come, first serve.
first come, first serve. I'm not saving nothing for nobody.
Yeah, he was a
And it was
Jesus.
crazy, Brady, because I mean, but that goes to show you when you like tapped into it, when you in it, there's
And it's a passion. Like,
the return on it, like
Mhm.
the ROI is larger than he could have expected.
mhm.
Because easily he was gonna be like, man, who need greens? Like, we can go get greens from like the Americas, or we can get greens from here. But
From the
but Ben's
supermarket.
greens was different.
Yeah, like, you knew where it came from.
Ben's green, because when you know where it came from, you know who grew it.
You know, it wasn't no
and then it was
pesticides.
so good.
Yeah, those greens was
You
busting.
can just, I mean, it was beautiful. He was so, like, you can tell he just loved what
He was
like,
invested in
he
it.
loved, but he loves what he's doing. And that passion, that you can see it, you can taste it through the greens. And it's something so beautiful because it inspires other people, like, even in terms of other industries, to go, whatever I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be just as
I wanna
passionate as he
be
is.
just
Passionate as
like
he is.
you.
I just like him. Don't be like Benny Manuel.
I'm
Just
saying,
kidding.
like what you were saying before, taking attributes from a person that you feel
Yeah.
inspired by to be great.
Man, that's what happens when you're inspired, man. You look at
Mhm.
somebody and go, I wouldn't mind being like that. Yo, listen to our last episode so I can get a better understanding of what that means.
hmm
But-
even though Alina Town, we watched him growing up. They had that whole farm.
Oh, man. I
We used to
love that
stay
place.
over there.
Like,
Shout out to the Alina Town.
Yeah, I used to love that place. Oh
Yo,
my
that used to be the
God.
place. Like, they had horses and
They had
everything.
horses?
Yeah, they
They
did.
had chickens. And
They had horses over there too.
they had chickens, goats. And...
Oh,
No, I think what I liked most was those in the winter we should do the oranges and tangerines, and it had like all that land of just oranges and tangerines.
I remember we used to
This is
take.
huge.
I remember
man.
we used to take some pine cones and bust
Yeah,
them
the
open
pine-
with a rock.
We used to have like
Those
a big
those
bag.
cones. Oh man.
We used to have a bag when we just sit down and just eat.
You used to just take a rock,
Bro, and
boom,
just
break that
smash
thing.
'em.
Yo,
Oh,
I miss
I mean, you
those.
saw I was so weak. I said, yo, can you smash them for us? I'd be smashing them for y'all and you just eat them. Yo, we were some crazy kids, man.
No, but that stuff like that really like inspired me. Like when I get my own house, I promise you, I'm having my own garden, like a nice big garden.
Nah, for me personally, I don't really want to live in a city. Like I'm with the city life every day, and I'm just like, I can't do this for the rest of my life.
It's not all that.
I need like 5 acres, right? And what I'm gonna be in the middle of these 5 acres with a house,
Hmm
a nice house.
Ooh, what if you have a garden surrounding you?
No, I'm gonna just have trees around me. Just trees here.
I
a
need
tree
some
here,
food.
tree
We
here.
need some
So
food.
I have like
Talking about trees.
apples, grapes.
Oh, you talking about those fruit trees?
What else? Mangoes, pineapples.
You need a vineyard for grapes.
I mean,
Grapes
listen,
grow a little wild.
but I'm saying, I just want to be secluded from everybody. I don't want to. If I don't go see you, you're not coming to see me. Don't just pop in my house like, oh yeah, Yo, I saw your car. I came to see you. Don't come see me.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna live far enough where it's like that's a long drive, but close enough where it's like I can come to your house when you invite me. So I don't know. I like people, but I like people to an extent.
What
Like,
is
somebody gonna tell me I'm introverted. I mean, I was extroverted. I was like,
because you want to be.
cause like I am when I need to be. Like I can socialize and I can get, like when we go to like networking events, and I can go shake hands, smile, little dancey dance. But on a regular schmegular, nah, leave me alone. I just want to be at home. I want to go to work. I want to go to the gym. Quite simple, very simple. But I think back to the subject of participation. I think if we had more people that, because I think Benny Manuel, even though he wasn't given an opportunity, I think when someone's given an opportunity to just like shine in their own respective department or industry, it allows people to be more flexible, be more expressive of what they like to do. And I think the lack of motivation, like the lack of pushing people to do that, because although yeah, you can say you don't need to be motivated or you don't need somebody to motivate you, I think having that extra push, like someone is like, you want to do this, let's do it. It just allows people to just thrive and also like give back. Cause if I feel like I had to do everything by myself and you wasn't helping me at all, I'm just
It's gonna fail. First of all,
I don't think it's gonna fail.
It's gonna fail. It's gonna succeed to a certain extent, but then it's gonna fail because you can't do everything by yourself.
No. I think it'll succeed. Like I think you'll succeed. Depends on how bad you want it. But also, it'll probably take you way longer than it needs to, because well, you're doing it by yourself. So you literally every component has to be fulfilled by you. Everything that needs to be done has to be done by you. And so I think the lack of someone pushing people and someone going like there's, I think there should be like a whole just section of the kingdom, like a
or
institution.
even like organizations in the world. Even organizations in the world, somebody to just pursue you. But they have that, don't they? They have like NGOs and stuff like that. That's NGOs and like different
NGOs,
Shark Tanks and stuff like that.
You mean think tanks?
I thought it was called Shark Tank.
No, Shark Tank is a company that take people ideas.
I mean, same thing basically. So like think tanks and stuff like that, they have it. But I feel like if we had that more as a community,
there's nothing like kind of grabbing young people like that. I think it's for people that's like 18. I mean, like 21, like
people
out of high school. I mean,
people that think they're gonna have $1 million idea.
People
like
out
that.
of university, or people that's like super mathematicians, like genius level. Then they put themselves in those kind of situations. But I'm talking about just for like 17, 18, fresh out of high school, or like
still in high school. Knowledge has no number.
And you're like, what do you want to do? And we gonna help you get to this. We're gonna help you achieve this. And I think that that motivation to just see things through. And that's something your right was telling me. He was like, I just want to make sure, like, I just want to see things through. Make sure you're good. Like, make sure that you're a responsible person. Make sure that you're an accountable young man. Make sure that you're strong mentally, physically, emotionally. And I think the lack of that is where people aren't motivated. Because, I mean, you can just stay home and watch Phineas and Ferb. And, I mean, like, you can just do nothing until you're 21. Like, because in Israel, you go to the army at 18. And, like, I see my boys, I ain't saying nothing bad about them. But it's like, I couldn't do what they do. Like, me now. You can take my schedule now and say go to the army and do what they doing. Because, like, they get out of the army about 5. Like a job, at least. At 5, they get home. They tired. They get up the next day. And it's like that. But it's like, there's no... I'm back at 5. At 6, I'm working on my side hustle. Like, there's not many people pushing like that. And I think there's no one pushing them like that either.
I've never heard of anybody actually doing that in their life, in the army and stuff like that.
Yeah, me neither. So that's what I'm saying. if you have somebody that's like, bet after the army, what you doing? And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to control your life. It's like we get you rolling, like we get the ball rolling. You come to us, all y'all out of the army at 5, y'all doing your miyot, whatever, right? You get out of the army, you come here, we work on your project, and you send you off. And you get to be creative. Like, it's like a think tank where we come in, you get to be creative, we have food, snack, whatever. Like, all those little components. That's a good
Small
business
things
idea.
matter.
Hold on, that's a good business idea. Hold on.
Yeah, let not your secrets.
Yeah, but also, people got to be serious. So, that's a good idea. Let me get back to my thought process, because I'm always trying to make money. I'm trying to...
Spilling gems.
But
Spilling gems.
I think having somebody that just, like, can direct you, and you have somebody that's like that's done the business thing, that's made their money. So it's not like I'm talking about finance when I'm working on my shkanta. It's like, come on now, like come on.
Tell me from experience.
I'm not listening to you about real estate and you don't own a house. You don't own an apartment. I'm not taking too much advice from you. But I think having someone, or at least an entity or a group of people that direct like youth 18, 19, 20 that's fresh out of the army, that's in the army every day, on what are you doing after the army? What are you doing in the army? Like, what are you doing on your day-to-day to progress your life outside of the army? Because the army, it acts like school almost.
Or even take it away from Israel. Like, get the youth from all these different jurisdictions that finish school.
I think just
you could make that a worldwide jurisdiction thing, even worldwide, like without the kingdom idea.
You gotta stop saying jurisdiction, because you keep messing the word up, and I'm just like, why should you keep going back?
It's my pronunciation.
Yeah,
Basically, just like you could just do youth groups, and it's so easy to connect nowadays. Like,
in fact, listen, if you ever say, "Oh, I just can't connect with nobody," shut up, you're lying, right? But I think that's actually a good idea.
You could do. You know how easy it is to connect with people worldwide, no problem.
But I don't think it's the lack of people pushing. I mean, it's the lack of ability to connect. I think it's the lack of someone going, you need to pursue what is meaningful. At 18, 19, 20. Like, you don't have to wait till you're in university to decide, oh, this is what I'm going to do. It's like if you want to be, let's say you want to be a world-class seamstress. You want to own a sewing company. Say less. Every day you get back from the army, or you get back from school, or you get back from whatever, 9 to 5, I don't really care. You have some time in the evening, right? Don't go to the club. Don't go to the lounge. Don't go to the party, whatever. Sit down.
Commit to
and
what
give
you want.
at least an hour and a half, 2 hours minimum to your future. And I think having that push, having somebody like, let's go. Where you at? Let's go to Shamia. You want to be a teacher? Let's learn some stuff. And it's like you constantly pushing people to just be better and better and better. And I'm not going to say they're going to like it, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to really like it. But if you don't have nobody to push you, you're like, some people can't push themselves. It's not going to happen.
Everybody need that little push, that little kick down
like some people, like
kick down the stairs.
Yeah. So like, who's really like that? Okay, let's use me for example, right? Because I'm thinking of people. I know, like, call somebody out and they just a bum. But you don't have to wake me up in the morning. You know, remember I was doing a delivery service at 4 in the morning? You didn't have to call me at 4. You might never call me like, oh yeah, to the Yale, are you up for your job? Bro, I was up at 4. Gone. I was out. I never needed that extra push, because I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was pursuing. And so that motivated me to just get up every day, get up every day, get up every day. I don't need nobody to push me. I'll push myself. But some people don't have that kind of confidence. Some people don't have that kind of discipline. And I think that initial, that planting that seed of discipline in people, if you got into 18 and you still ain't got discipline, well, listen, life is a long life. So
you may never get that.
No, but I'm saying it's never too late.
It's never, but that's sad. If you
It's not sad, because some people just don't come from that environment. But I think planting that seed, at least at 18, like minimum 18, where it's
16, my God.
Okay, but listen, some people don't have that. But I think at 18, you can plant that seed, because now you're an independent adult. If you don't do it, no one's gonna do it for you.
True.
No one cares if you do it or not, because guess what? You being broke changes nothing in the world. You're just another statistic. No, really, that's what it is. Like, no one's coming to save you. No one's like, oh, yes, you broke, lazy, and fat. Here's a cookie. That's not how that works. It's just like, all right, well, that's how you are. Here's the world for you. Like, these are the things that the world access for you. And I think when you give people that extra push, it's like, you want to be a teacher? You don't know how good of a teacher you can be. Like, you can only think like, oh, like when people say you never know how well it can turn out unless you just try.
It's better to say, I tried and I didn't get it.
Listen, I'd rather try and fail 1 billion times
than never try and regret.
But that's one of my worst fears in life in general. It's like, it's hard. It might suck, but it'll eat at my soul for the rest of my life.
If I didn't try.
If I knew, I never even gave it a real chance. I think in terms of like heaven and hell, I think that's what hell is. It's like you die, right? Right? Let's say you die and you go to heaven, right? And there's this whiteboard and it says Nishamia. And it's like author, teacher, sister. Okay, sister, you can't really get away around that. But like, you have all these things you could have accomplished. And you're looking at this board and you're like, who the heck is that? And God is like, that's everything you could have become. And you just like, no.
That's what I do. When I feel like I'm interested in something, I go for it.
Do it.
I jump right in it. No matter what, no matter how much it costs to do this and that.
And you don't know
I'm
what
gonna do it
outcome will happen.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what, because there's no such thing as like you learn too much or you know too much.
Right.
Like, even in terms of like, people ask me, oh, you like psychology, you want to be a psychologist? I'm like, low? Who do I be I don't want to be a psychologist. But it's like, hey, man, now I know about child development.
Funny thing you said that I took a course about psychology just because I was interested in it.
It's because.
Even if it was just that season, I took a psychology course. Why not?
Like,
you know?
why not? Who don't, like, there's always room to learn, room to grow. And I think something Jordan Peterson said, he was like, the biggest weapon is knowledge. Like, if you want to contend with the world, learn how to learn. That's the first thing. Learn how to learn. Learn how to educate yourself.
How to listen.
Learn how to write. Learn how to read. And you can do anything. Because everything's in a book. Because everyone writes a book. Everyone writes not. And you know how many books there are? I think there's like twice as many books as there are like movies in the world. I think even way more. And you have different eras, different genres. Me, I'm personally into like self-development, philosophy, and psychology, stuff like that. That kind of stuff interests me. And like, books about real estate, like, that's just normal stuff. But I think the stuff that like really grasps me is like your Nietzsche, your Dostoevsky, and those kind of guys, where you read them, and like your whole mentality changes, or like how you see the world. And it's so fascinating that a book can do that for you, where you thought the world was black and white, and people was like, there's a little bit of gray, and you're like, no way. But then you read about different history and different people and like the lives they live. It's almost like I'm living your life through your book. It's so fascinating, because like I don't have to go and rob a bank. Read a book about somebody who robbed banks for a living.
See the outcome.
And they can tell you everything you need to know about robbing banks. Not advocating for robbing banks, of course, but that was just an example of. Well, let's give a different example. People think that's a criminal. Hold on. Where if someone was a public speaker for their whole life, you don't have to go out and public speak. Or if you have a fear of public speaking, you can read their book and get a very good understanding of the ups and downs, ins and outs of public speaking. And so it's like you live their life of like somebody like Jordan Peterson, Tony Robbins, and David Goggins. It's like, I don't have to be in the Navy, or I don't have to like really understand the Navy. I read David Goggins and I'm just like, or the Marines. I forgot which one he was in. But you read his book and you just like, wow.
Funny thing is, we like completely opposites. I do not read books like that, y'all.
That's crazy.
I have no shame in it though.
Why not?
I like, because I I guess it's just not really interesting to me. But I could watch. I
Is it
like
discipline or
no, it's
like
not
a lack of-
discipline.
no? I mean,
It's
some
just-
people just can't focus that long.
No, I can't. It's just not interesting to me like that.
It's crazy. It's so weird.
Like, let me tell you, I think just because of the type of person I am, because I'm like all emotion, empathetic type of stuff like that. So that's that type of stuff. Like I'm into like romance books, action, drama.
You know the only problem with those kind of
Adventure, mystery. I'm all about that. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not just like out there like just only romance like
But
that
the
type
reason
of
I don't
thing.
like books like that no more is because like after I read them, my life hasn't gotten any better.
Oh
than it was
no. Let me
before.
tell you, first of all, let me finish. So I'm saying I love to research. So I love to do research. So when I'm interested in something like different, another culture or something like that, I would do research. Look at YouTube videos, stuff like that. I mean, I'll be interested in some weird stuff.
But,
Like
you read articles or you don't read articles? You just only watch or listen?
no, I watch. I watch and I read. I do both.
Mm.
Yeah. But no, my thing is I'm a different type of reader. I
You
would
like
say
that weird stuff.
I
That's so weird.
I take lessons from these romance books, and not in a relationship
They're
type of
fictional.
like. I know that, but you can still learn from anything. You can learn from anything.
But don't go for bad boys. Don't go for the alpha werewolf. Really?
No, it's just interesting to me. I just sometimes like to be like, how people watch movies just to be like entertained. I like watching. I like.
I don't
reading
know.
books.
I think there's a certain person that can watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm just like I
don't
can't
watch that crap.
Like my attention for stupid stuff like that.
See, that's stupid.
Because the thing is, I could watch like Teen Titans Go and be on the floor laughing.
Yeah,
I can watch Rick and Morty and be on the floor laughing.
that's your entertainment. I like reading romance books.
But in terms of like, I think some movies are like a must watch, and they capture you. And it's like you take it outside of the movie, the life lessons are still very applicable.
Yeah.
Like Matrix or Inception.
Mm-hmm.
Any Christopher Nolan book. I mean, any Christopher Nolan movie. You watch it and you just like blown away. Have you seen Christopher Nolan movies, right? Tenet, Inception, Interstellar.
I think I watched Tenet. I mean, I think
Tenet.
yeah.
Tenet, the black guy who kind of things move back in time. Oh my god.
Okay, I think I watched
Have you
that.
seen Inception? The guy who go in your dreams and extract things from your dreams.
Mm-mm.
Have you seen Interstellar? But no, you don't like space movies. That's why
I don't like.
always related.
I don't like
Space
space
movies
movies. They're
are like-
so boring to me, yo.
You see, Brady, I like to be educated.
I don't like space
I
movies.
love-
I'd rather read a space article. I cannot
What?
sit and watch a space movie. It is so boring to me. Like,
You ever heard
So
the
boring.
saying, "I'm smart enough to know I don't know nothing."
I'm smart enough to know.
I'm smart enough to know I don't know nothing. I think that's
Oh
wrong.
yeah,
I think
because
I'm
you know
saying
everybody.
that wrong, but it's more like
I
think
get what you're trying to say. It's like
That's
you don't know
space, though.
everything.
That's what space though. It's
I
it's
don't
so,
feel like.
it's like you look up in the sky, and it's like right in your face. You know nothing.
But I don't feel like I want to know it. I don't want to know everything.
No, but that's the beauty of it, and it's like you stuck in between what you see on Earth
Mm-hmm.
and the infinite possibilities of things that's going on in the universe. And I think space is like the portal to that,
Mm-hmm.
where they talk about like the infinity, right? I was watching this
Mhm.
documentary on Netflix about it's called A Trip to Infinity. Highly recommend it. But they talk about how if it's infinity, that
Mhm.
means the same thing that happens on Earth
Coulda-
happens
could have happened.
somewhere. No, it happened. No,
Mhm.
It definitely happened somewhere else. And like, so there's a you somewhere else in the universe that just don't have a podcast. There's a you somewhere else that's still in Israel.
See, that
That's-
sound real.
It's an infinite kind of thing. It's like the infinite Earth, the multiple dimensions. I do
Oh.
believe in multiple
I do
dimensions.
too.
And I think what they did on the Flash was really cool, where each Earth vibrates at a different frequency,
Mhm.
and that's why you can't see.
You're
certain
not
things.
you're not the same person that you were.
No, you are. You're the
like
same
you're not
person.
the same person. Like with personality wise.
No. Yeah, but like there's subtle differences. So there's like a subtle difference where you stay with your ex, or there's a subtle difference where
You good? You a superhero, and the other one you a villain.
yeah, kind of stuff like that. And that infinite possibility thing, it's like, wow, there's so many things I don't know. And that's kind of fascinating because there's always so much to learn since you don't know anything.
I feel like that's good not to know some stuff. Like, I feel like, personally, I feel like humans is a little too nosy for me. Like,
I think humans are curious.
No,
They're curious
nosy.
creatures.
It's the difference between being curious and nosy. Curious people know when to back off. Nosy people, I would say for the most part, nosy people, they just be all up down your throat and everything. Like,
No, I think
humans is nosy.
I think humans are in the pursuit of like just knowledge.
Trying to be God, that's the real one.
I don't think all humans are like that though.
Not
Like,
all, but mostly. Most of
me
them.
personally, there's some things I want to know, and there's some things I'm just like, the last thing I need to do.
Would you
is-
want to go to space?
Oh yeah, dude.
Seriously?
You think I'm working as hard so I can take care of my family?
You trying to go to space?
I'm trying to go to space.
My boy trying to live on Mars.
No, I don't know. You think? No. No Martians for me. But I think I love to see space. Like wow, dude. Do you know how cool that'll be?
I would never.
They said they
wanna
were
do
doing like
that.
space travel for like 100K. I'm going.
That's cheap.
That's 100 million shillings.
That's nothing.
100 million shillings is nothing.
That's little money to
There's
go to
people-
all the way to space.
There's
Ain't
people
nobody,
that'll rob
boy.
you for less. Like there are people who will mug you in Westlands for 10K, and you send 100M.
For 50,
It's just
for 50 shillings.
500 shillings. They rob you. Facts. But,
No, but my whole thing is, I feel like people is a little too curious for me.
But why?
Why? Because they obviously, it's like you caused the problem. Now you're trying to go outside of the world to fix it. Get out of here. All
No,
that.
I think, like, in terms of, I think there's so much to know. Like, I think even you take a subject like Egyptology, there's so much to know. There's so much to learn. There's so much that we don't know, that we still don't know about. Like, I was watching this.
You don't need to know everything.
I was watching this
like,
thing about how they use the pyramids to send out a signal, and it was talking about how like they had access to different dimensions, and I was like, oh wow. Back to the subject, right? Participation. I think the way I'm participating in the growth and in the future of of us,
the development.
the development of the community and just the youth in general is, well, I'm trying to find a way to give people that ability to show all that they can be. You know, that's one of my goals, to create a system, a system in place where people can show all that they are, where it's like, oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. Like, you thought this was what I was doing, so you haven't seen nothing yet. And I think pushing people and giving people that leeway to just express themselves and showing them like you can do all of these things under the confines of the kingdom. And I think that's where some people like go off, because they're like, oh, if you want to be great, you gotta leave the kingdom first, then come back. Yeah. So
Seesaw stuff.
seesaw. What's your name?
There and back. There, up and down, up and down.
Dumb.
I'm just saying.
It just reminded me of something. But but I want to give like that. I want to give people that vision of you can accomplish all of these things in the kingdom, and you don't have to go out and try to find somewhere else or find something else to do those things. And I don't know. I think when people see that you can build and you can really accomplish all that you want in participating in the kingdom to the fullest extent, then people will be more willing to stay, and people will be more willing to stay committed also. And I think that participation and that recognition for that participation in like whatever process is going on, because it's kind of tough where you participate in something and there's no recognition. It's kind of tough. But I think that participation, that recognition, that acknowledgement of what you've done and all that you've accomplished is really good just for people in general. And it allows people to go, oh, Neshamia is a teacher, Neshamia is an author, Neshamia is this, that, the other. Bet. So we're going to give her this opportunity to do more of that. We're going to give her the opportunity to participate in different things in that genre. So the Writers Guild, the Writers Conferences, and any other things that in regards to writing, then it's like letting the show participate in that. And so when you get older, you become an advisor for that. And so when someone asks you, how'd you become like this? You tell them, oh, I started off participating in it. And so that younger person goes, okay, I can participate in this to get here, all under the confines of the kingdom. And that makes, I don't know, I think if companies work like that also, it allows people to strive to be more competent out of anything else. What's more recognizable, what's more kind of rewarded is competence. And I think when you give competence awards and you give competence and responsibility those awards of just elevation, promotions, whatever you want to call it, then it allows people to just be like,
feel inspired.
Yeah,
to
I
be
feel
like
inspired
that.
to be confident. I feel inspired to be competent, and I feel inspired to be responsible because only those things can yield truth and righteousness, and even just good people in general. Like you cannot move through the world, be incompetent, and expect good things to happen to you. It just doesn't work like that. And so the only way you can get what you want out of life is to be a responsible, competent, and honest person. And I don't know. I think people lack that inspiring word of competence where you can do it. Let's go. You have it in you. There's not like always. So who told somebody told me something crazy, like there's nothing someone else is doing in the world that you can't do.
True. And
I was like, really? They're like, no matter how smart you think somebody is,
you could do it too.
Apply yourself, and I bet you can do it. And that it's such a nice thing where you realize it's a 4-letter word, work. All you have to do is put in the work. And it's really crazy that a lot of people aren't willing to put in that work, but I think a lot of people aren't inspired to put in that work because they don't see the value of that work, of putting in that much work. And so I think placing a higher value on competence and work and responsibility, it'll yield way more people to go, I want to be like that. And I want to kind of take on those things. You know? Anyway, y'all, that was Solution Speak episode 5. I know you was thinking like, wow, it's over already.
Yes.
I can hear this man's voice all day. If you're a guy, don't say.
I mean, y'all could comment for a part 2 if you're interested.
I mean, y'all listen. Comment for part 2. Comment if you want to hear more about competence and responsibility. You know, there's never a lack of competent responsibility and things to talk about in that realm. But if you want to listen to us more, get more episodes, previous episodes, you can get us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any podcast streaming platform, video platform you want to find us on. Just look up Solution Speak on the net, and it'll be like, wow, are you looking for the second highest listened to podcast in Nairobi, Kenya? And it'll be like, oh, yeah, that's Solution Speak. And you're going to be like, wow.
I know that guy.
I know they had it like that, but guess what? We do. Now, I'm your host, Akiatiliel.
And I am Akotna Shamia.
Now we have our favorite song in the whole wide world.
It's Where We Go Hard.
Run it.
Run it.
You can do your own thing, but you can't go hard. It's us. It's where we go hard. It's where we go hard. It's where we go.